Okay, today is January 13th and I'm going to do an update on this Green Sapote tree. Back in October I did my last video and I mentioned that this thing was having some crown rot, root rot issues from the extreme rain we had this particular year. And you can see that. Let me see if I can find one of the old flushes here. Where is one? Looks like maybe some of those old leaves fell off. There was some here. Where is one of the old flushes? Ah, right here. There's an old, you can kind of tell. Let's look at this spot right here. See this? Right here where this flush, it never developed hardly at all. But then this flush looks really good. So this flush was during the time when the tree was really suffering and struggling. And then after I treated it, this flush came out and is looking really good. And you can see there's another flush coming right now. So the tree seems to be doing much better. Now, typically I try to do things mostly organic, but in this particular case I did use a fungicide that definitely doesn't meet organic methods, but I really wanted to get something that would get after this, because usually crown rot, which you can see down there, is something significant that can easily kill a tree very quickly. So I didn't want to take any chances, and I got after it, and it seems to be doing really good now. It did lose a few leaves, and some of the older leaves are kind of not so happy, but the new flushes are looking good, and it's starting to flush again in all of these spots. So I'm happy about that, and I think the tree is going to be good and start growing again and be happy. You can see this structure I got around it. Bamboo from a bamboo cluster we have here on the property, and some stakes. Then I just used some Gorilla Tape, because that stuff seems to be super strong, and to hold that together. And the structure, I have a square 3-inch thick piece of insulation that I lay on top for cold protection if in the event of a freeze, and then I can tarp the whole thing. I have a 20 by 20 tarp, and it will cover this whole spot. And then I'll put a 250 watt heat lamp in there if we have a freeze. Now we're partway through January, and the next week looks good, so most of January looks good. We don't know about the end of January, but so far we've been freeze free. The lowest temperature we had was actually back at the end of November. We had a brief sprint down to about 35 degrees that night, but since then we've had a few other high 30s, but mostly low 40s and stuff. So it's been a cool winter, other than about a 2-week heat wave we had around beginning of the new year, end of December. We had quite a heat wave, but for the most part things have been cool, and I don't mind cool. I just don't want significant freezes and such. But the Green Sapote tree is doing good, and that's the update on that. I expect the tree to continue to go forward and start growing again and doing well. That's it for this update. Thanks. Bye.